For years, chimpanzees and gorillas lived side by side in peace, sharing trees, food, and even the occasional playful moment. Then, without warning, that calm shattered. The forest that once hummed with harmony became a battleground as our closest relatives turned on each other in shocking, coordinated attacks. What could push gentle giants and clever tricksters into a war no one saw coming? The day the forest went silent. For years, Luongo's jungle was a picture of harmony, chimps and gorillas sharing trees, swapping grunts, and occasionally playing like old friends. It was the kind of interspecies peace that made biologists beam. Then came February 2019, when that calm shattered. While researchers observed their usual troop of chimps, more than 24 suddenly launched a fierce, coordinated attack on 5 unsuspecting gorillas, a silverback, 3 females, and a baby. The hour-long clash ended in tragedy when the infant was killed. Shock rippled through the scientific world. But the chaos wasn't over. In December, it happened again. 27 chimps versus 7 gorillas in a 79-minute showdown that ended the same grim way. The forest that once echoed with laughter and foraging calls now carried the heavy silence of something darker. The great apes of Luongo had gone from sharing fruit trees to waging war beneath them. Meet the fighters. Before we unpack the jungle drama, let's meet the stars of the show. Gorillas are the heavyweight champions of the primate world. Massive, muscular, but famously mellow. A silverback, the troop's leader, is less of a brawler and more of a zen dad, keeping order while everyone eats, naps, and vibes in the shade. Life's pretty chill when your biggest worry is running out of fruit. Chimps, however, are the wild cards of the forest. Smaller but smarter, they're part genius, part troublemaker, and part action hero. Known for brains and boldness, they patrol their turf like a tiny army and aren't afraid to throw down when challenged. Among themselves, skirmishes are common, and they plan them with unnerving precision. Until recently, though, their battles stayed in the family. Then one day, the chimps looked across the trees at their gorilla neighbors and decided peace was overrated. From friendly forest to fight club. So how did peaceful neighbors turn into enemies? Blame it on the fruit, or rather, the lack of it. As climate change dried up Luongo's once bountiful buffet, the chimps' patience ran out faster than bananas in a smoothie shop. Territorial by nature, they weren't about to share their dwindling snacks. What began as friendly tree sharing turned into a full-on jungle feud, and when push came to shove, the clever, fiery chimps outmaneuvered the calm, bulky gorillas. In this tropical drama, brains beat brawn, and nobody got the mango. When climate makes killers, when the weather turns, so does the mood in the jungle. As fruit grew scarce in Luongo, the usually clever and curious chimpanzees seemed to snap, slipping into full survival mode. Protect the food, crush the competition, and win at any cost. It's the kind of drama you'd expect from a reality show, not the rainforest. What shocked scientists most, though, was the brutality toward baby gorillas. Was it chaos or cold strategy? Some think the chimps lashed out blindly. Others believe they were eliminating future rivals. Either way, it's a chilling reminder that hunger can turn even our gentlest cousins into cold-blooded tacticians. And climate change might just be the hidden villain behind it all, the human reflection in the forest. What's both fascinating and unsettling about the Luongo conflict is how familiar it feels. Chimps form alliances, plot ambushes, and even celebrate victories, eerily similar to how ancient humans once waged war. Watching them is like glimpsing our own evolutionary past, a raw reflection of the instincts we've tried to outgrow. That's what makes these attacks so compelling and disturbing. They reveal just how thin the line is between cooperation and chaos. Most chimp groups live peacefully, sharing food and forming deep bonds. But when resources dwindle, even the friendliest can turn fierce. Sound familiar? Whether it's jungle fruit or rising fuel prices, scarcity has a way of bringing out our inner chimp. Shock in the scientific community. The scientists who witnessed these events were, to put it mildly, astonished. Until 2019, there had been no record of such lethal encounters between chimpanzees and gorillas. Interspecies violence of this magnitude simply wasn't part of the known behavioral catalog. Researchers spent months reviewing their data, rewatching footage, and asking themselves whether this was an anomaly or the start of a disturbing trend. Dr. Pika emphasized that we are only at the beginning of understanding the effects of competition on interactions between the two species. Translation: nobody really knows what's going on yet, but it's worth keeping the binoculars ready, just in case the forest decides to throw another surprise brawl. When nature's balance tips. The clashes in Loango aren't just wild drama, they're a warning. When nature's balance slips, even peaceful neighbors can turn into rivals. Climate change, shrinking habitats, and scarce food don't just alter the landscape. They change how animals behave. The same instincts that once kept species alive can suddenly fuel chaos. In that way, the chimp-gorilla fights aren't just about them, they're about us. Both humans and apes are struggling with the same pressures: competition, scarcity, and the race to adapt. The only difference? Chimps don't hold climate conferences, they just act. And when instinct takes over, survival can get messy. Is there hope for peace in the canopy? All isn't lost in Loango. Most days, chimps and gorillas still share the forest without a fight. Scientists think the violent clashes might have been rare bursts of tension, not the start of a full-blown jungle war. Give the forest more fruit and a little calm, and peace might return. Gorillas just want a quiet snack, and chimps, once fed, can be surprisingly friendly. Still, it's hard to shake the image of these genius apes going primal, like nature's own reality show. Somewhere, the elephants are probably rolling their eyes, and the parrots are definitely gossiping about it. A mirror in the jungle. The clashes between chimps and gorillas are more than wild encounters. They're a reflection of what happens when competition overshadows cooperation. In their struggle, we can glimpse our own. The clever but combative chimp and the strong yet gentle gorilla, both battling to survive in a world changing faster than they can adapt. Nature doesn't fight out of malice, but necessity. A reminder that the line between order and chaos is far thinner than we'd like to admit. Maybe the real lesson from Loango isn't about apes at all, but about us learning to balance survival with harmony before our own resource wars go primal. For now, the forest waits to see if peace returns. And somewhere in the canopy, perhaps a chimp and a gorilla are learning to share the same branch again. And that's the wild tale of how peaceful neighbors turned into rivals in one of nature's most shocking showdowns. If you enjoyed diving into this incredible story of chimpanzees, gorillas, and the chaos of the canopy, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious and maybe keep your snacks to yourself.